So I want to give you guys this real quick Star Wars lesson. If you have not seen The Last Jedi, this is semi-spoilery a little bit. A little bit of spoilers. So again, if you really are a Star Wars fan to that level, I might mess this up for you a little bit. But you know what? I actually liked the movie. The second time around. The first time I watched it, I didn't like it. And again, little spoilers for you. Didn't like what happened to my boy Luke. But I can relate, especially again, going around the second time, seeing it. And Luke was out here on the island of Dagobah or whatever, and he was pretty much through with all this Jedi stuff. He been teaching Jedis and teaching this stuff, and only for one of them to turn out just like his father and be just as powerful, if not more, with this dark force, this dark energy. And you know, Luke just didn't want no parts of it. And I'm sitting there watching the second time around like, man, yes. But a line I heard the first time impacted me even harder the second time around, and that's where I'm coming with the spoiler for you. So again, if you haven't seen it, I've given you enough time to hop off the video. I'm sorry, you just can't get this lesson right now if you're that big a fan. Or I'm gonna have to just give you this spoiler if you really want this business lesson, because here it comes. You know, it's all in the title too. I'm trying to give y'all time so you don't blame me. Oh, he spoiled that one for me. But so again, this is really for my people out there that have seen Star Wars, because if you haven't seen it, that's kind of why I need to give you this spoiler. Otherwise, you know, maybe you have no intention on watching Star Wars, but you know, you basically need this context I'm about to give you. So again, Luke is out here on Dagobah. He tripping. A lot goes on in the movie, which I'm gonna skip to. He's about to burn down the Jedi temple, one of the original Jedi temples, at least as it's presented to us in the film. And he's struggling to do it. And all of a sudden, in Force Ghost projection from the other side appears Master Yoda. Dope moment in the movie. And Master Yoda helps his former student, because that's who Luke is. He helps his former student do what he couldn't do. Goes on and burns the thing down, because he's like, look, man, you right. All this stuff you feeling, you right. All this stuff that, you know, that's why everything that worked out how it has, basically. And furthermore, brother, don't feel so bad about some of the students who went the wrong way. That's just what happened. And here's that line. Here's that line. Here's that line. Yoda says to him, in regards to the students that you as a master, as a teacher who you teach, he says, they are what we grow beyond. In other words, they grow beyond what we are. Because, you know, Yoda talked that backwards stuff. Okay. They grow beyond us. That's how it goes. Like, no student ever necessarily does exactly as the teacher. Unfortunately. I mean, sometimes it works out like that. A lot of times it don't, though. You know, and you can't blame yourself for that, which I thought was interesting. Because, you know, I don't necessarily blame myself for any people who've come through TNG and left. I won't, you know, lie to you. I felt some type of way about certain cats. You know, some of y'all have seen me speak on it, who've come through and I felt were just basically disrespectful. They just wanted to get some ideas for themselves, and selfish and self-centered, and, you know, again, weren't embracing the concept that it's about the team, not the company, that it's about us and our network and us working together, that's what matters more than any program or any MLM or affiliate that you're excited about. Because number one, we never know what these companies are going to do. Any of them can go out of business at any time, right? Number two, most importantly, right, we need to again make sure that that these companies are going to be able to pay what they say they're aiming to actually pay. And so sometimes with companies, you have to give them time, and other times you have to actually have a network to be able to bring people in. You have to actually understand how to recruit. There are other things that are involved that are much more important than what company you're in. At the end of the day, we all do the same thing. No matter what company or program we're recruiting for, it's always the same process. Okay, so all that being said, it gave me a new perspective again on people who've come through my system, who've come through TNG. They came to me for a reason. They got what they came for, and I can always feel good about knowing that I've contributed, to some of the top producers who are out here doing their thing in some areas, at least. Maybe not all, of course, and hey, that's all good again, because whoever has just one teacher really anyway, right? Then there's that, right? Now again, it's not cool when people like take your ideas, but at the same time, generally speaking, what I continue to see is those who do try to take the idea still don't get it. Because as I was saying, as I was alluding to, it's not about the program. It's not about the company. You know what I'm saying? It's about the people. I mean, if I find the camera here. It's about the people, you guys. That's what matters most in any network marketing opportunity, any network organization type structure. It's about the people. Who are you networking with? What types of people are you working with? Are you with people who are going to throw a hissy fit when you won't add a program that they just saw? Right? Like, if so, it's going to be really hard to move your multi-program network forward, because you're continuing to have people in the network who are so concerned with the programs. Like, that's a big deal. That's a real challenge that we faced ever since launching the One MLM system. Is, in fact, again, I tell a story, and, it's just facts. Like, on day one, before we even got the system out, many of the leaders who I was launching the system with were already sort of like, why don't we add this phone business? And since the answer wasn't yes right away, they decide to focus on the phone business. And, hey, I ended up even getting in the phone business. Did pretty well with it. But eventually the phone business went out of business. Right? Now, how unfortunate is that they built an entire network off this phone business, and the moment that business went out of business, the network is gone? How unfortunate is that? Had they all been enrolled in the One MLM system, then they would have had attached themselves to a couple programs here and there. This one, that one, this one, and that one. Programs that we have determined are just going to help us, give us exposure as far as some of the social networks. $10 programs that would give us some easy money to generate within our networks. And other, again, affordable programs that are all optional. And again, even if they weren't in them at the time, when the phone company went out of business, they could have easily just rolled over into another one that was already in the system waiting for them. Like, okay, well, look, we all gonna roll from phone business into list building business. That's simple. Everybody would have stayed in line because, again, they would have already been signed up through the one MLM system. So everybody's upline is in place. All these things matter, you guys. Don't come at me with all this who owns who stuff. That's a talking point that distracts and confuses us in the MLM industry. Right? It's not about that. It's about what's good for the network, what's good for the networker, what's good for you and your business partner is good for your business. That's what I'm on. And everybody jumping around is bad for business. Sure, everyone can do it. It's just not good for business. And look, I've been saying this since 2010. I'm on record, right? So things I've seen within the MLM industry, again, for this entire year, I kind of unplug. You know, I've been on crypto, you know, seeing what's going on there. It's an interesting world, you know, but not really too big in terms of looking at any MLM programs, anything new. You know, everything with the system is still running, though. Everything is up. But, you know, not doing any training, not really doing much of anything. And that's why I say it's funny. I kind of feel like Luke. I even got the scruffy beard right now, you know, wild hair. You feel me? No time to cut nothing, right? Not out here concerned with all this Force stuff that used to be going on with the, you know, with the Jedis. Okay, I'm joking, guys. Go see Star Wars if you haven't. Otherwise, most of the Star Wars stuff isn't gonna make sense. But I appreciated that. Because it sort of gave me hope again. Okay, because I'm about to close this out. To where, you know, again, maybe MLM will work out after all and turn out being something to help people get organized and structured in terms of how they approach building wealth. Because that's always been my view. That's always been, again, what I've been writing about, topnetworkersgroup.com. You can go check out the blog. You can go on the email list. You can go through the videos and you'll see that. That's been the message that I've been coming with for everybody. And either you've been listening or you haven't, right? Because that's the world we're in, right? Not everybody listens. A lot of people like to do their own thing and, you know, unplug and only pay attention to what matters to them. And, you know, oh, he's not looking at me in the camera, so I'm not going to look at him, you know, all kinds of stuff. People look at where you are and what you parked and what you got on, and rather than listening to what you're saying. And it's just a sign of the time, right? It's just where we are. And so within that context, with the MLM stuff, a lot of people simplify everything. And so they see multiple programs together and just figure that they can just set up their own little systems and have multiple programs too. And that's all it takes. But again, they're going to continue to have the same challenges that we've had because it's a societal issue, right? Where people really aren't hearing the bigger part, that it's not about the programs. And if you're not telling people that, or let me put it like this. If you're telling people it's about the programs, you know, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with hyping your stuff, right? You know, but I just think people sometimes get too hung up in that, right? Because at the end of the day, these companies don't have no loyalty to us. They never have and probably never will until we get organized. When we get organized into large blocks where we're able to, now everyone can stir the ship, because that's my last point. It's never really been about one person, right? Sometimes people get hung up in that too. Oh, he thinks it's all about him. No, it's not. Never, ever been about just me. It's been about showing people how to stir this type of ship. Information people need, books people need to read, videos people need to watch, mentors and teachers people need to get into their system so that they can look at the world and at this business the same way, so that we can all steer the ship, so that now anybody can steer the ship, so that anybody can take the wheel. and teach and tell other people about the importance of growth and understanding that you need a network no matter what company you're looking at. If you want to make money in it, you got to have a network first. So let's build that. Let's go with what we have now. Okay, great. There's a lot of stuff out here, but we have a mission. We have a goal. We're already doing something. We're on board. And either you're with us or you're not. That's the mentality you need to be successful in business, especially partnerships. You and everybody else have to be on that same page. The Judases in the camp who, I don't know about this, you know, they're ready to sell you off for 30 pieces of silver. There are always going to be problems on the mission. It never fails. I'm telling you guys, that's just how it goes. And, you know, again, I'm thankful that I'm a Star Wars fan because I ended up seeing the movie twice and was able to digest that nugget. Because again, you know, maybe I do need to get back into the game. And then again, at the same time, maybe I don't, right? Because there are a lot of people, you know, again, who are doing well. And I'm happy for them because I see them doing it too. And I'm like, man, I see you doing it. I see you doing it. You look good doing it too. Trust me. And I'm just glad to have been a part, you know what I'm saying? And to still have something up that still may in the future turn out to do what it was intended to do. You know, so there's that. Okay. Look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. If and when you do, topnetworkersgroup.com is the flagship. Definitely going to start possibly relaunching and reforming some things in 2018. It's been a good year. I hope you guys stay safe as we bring it into the next one. And I'll see you, as always, at the very top. Thanks for watching. And we're going to hit stop here in just a moment. As soon as we find that stop for you. That's awesome. You know, technology is so fantastic now. We can do all this great stuff. And then when it comes to the very end, you can be like, man, how do I turn this off? All right, you guys. Thanks for watching.